Fine. Okay, so thank you. So we're on Omid Bays on the bottom. So tonight's stuff again is first we continue about whether the terminology should be drachim or dvarim, and whether it should be using the Mishnah should be using a lashon zachar or a lashon nekeva. Right, that's going to be the first part of the daf. And then the second part of the daf is going to be because the Mishnah says accounting. So the Gemara is going to ask and go. Okay, so we're taking it up on Beis on Beis. Where do we leave off? Yeah, V'adetran. Second line up from the bottom. Yeah, V'adetran esrik shavel ilam begimel drachim. Right, so we said that an esrik is the same as a tree in three ways. Right, so meaning an esrig it's sometimes in some ways it's like a vegetable, in some ways it's like a fruit, depending on when it's taken off for maisrus, trumas and maisrus, right? So the Mishnah says the esrig is like a tree for three things. Now it says drachim, lisni devarim. Why doesn't it say devarim? Right, again, yesterday we were going back and forth whether we said devarim is really the better choice of words, right? So why doesn't it say devarim? Why does it say drachim? So my answer should be because it's similar to a vegetable in one way, meaning it's similar to trees in three ways, similar to a vegetable in one way. So the proper word to use for that is derech. So once it's using derech in the sefer, it's going to, at least what the Gemara thinks right now, it's going to use the word drachim in the Reisha. Okay, so the Gemara asks, sefer nami nisni dover. Why can't you just say dover in the sefer too? Liyerek b'dover echad. I don't talk about Aleph. The Gemara answers, Hasam Hokamash Malon. No, there's a chiddush that it wants to tell us. The darche, the esrog, the darche, the esrog ki yorek. The derech of an esrog is like a vegetable, right? Memela, that's why the trumas and ma'asos gets treated like a vegetable, that it doesn't go on a specific time of the year. It goes when it's picked. So what is it? Vegetables can grow in all types of water. Meaning you don't necessarily need rain. Yeah.
I mean, isn't there a vegetable trumas ma'asos midrabanan?
Yes.
So how are you comparing it?
No, it's just saying. It's just we have to decide which way an esrog is going to be treated for chumas and maises, but whether it's the rabbanon or the raisa, right?
Well,
since we have to figure out which way to treat it, so we just have to figure out which is. Well, the truth is, you meaning an esrog. You want to say maybe an esrog is like a fruit?
It's
maybe
a fruit.
It's like a fruit, but it gets treated like a vegetable. I hear what you're saying, right? I hear.
Come on, just add it to your list. We do until we don't.
Relax, okay, relax.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're saying it's a fruit, but it gets treated like a vegetable. So is it a deraisa or a rabbanon? I hear. I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
Why wouldn't it not be a fruit? Just because the way it grows? What kind of water you irrigate it with?
Yeah. That's exactly what it's saying. Since it grows with. Yeah, by the way, Rashi says, Asmechino Vavagav the Meiser did who the Rabbanon who Asmechino Akroi. So you mechav into the Rashi, it's about 6-7 lines down at the thin line.
Okay.
It's an asmachta. But anyways, yeah, because it has some of the properties of vegetables, in that way it gets treated like a vegetable. Right. So again, so My yerek, Hasam Kamash on the top line. Hasam Hakamash Malon, the Darche de Esrik Yerek, that the derech, the way an Esrik is grown, is like a yerek. My yerek, a yerek, its derech it grows with all types of water, whether it's rainfall or whether it's a river or any type of water. When do we take off meiser? When it gets picked, right? That's what a vegetable. The meiser comes off when it gets picked. And esrog also the derech is to grow on the water. And ubashas likitasa isura. Mamela, when you take it, it's that's when you take off the meiser. So mamela, we're using the word derech because it's the derech of an esrog to grow in any type of water, just the same way as a vegetable. So to use the word davar would not fit. Right, so since davar wouldn't fit, we have to use the word derech. Once we're using the word derech for fine. And the Gemara asks, what the Tnanen? Yeah, so now there's a big, I mean, a kai, it's a very interesting thing. A kai or a kvi. It's a big machlokes how to pronounce the word. It's also big machlokes if it's a behema or a chaya. Right? So a kai is like a malek, it's one big suffix. Right? It says we don't know what it is. Everything about it is a suffix. So the Mishnah says, kai yesh by drachim shavet l'chaya. There are ways that it's like a chaya, like a wild animal. Right? V'yesh meaning, and how? Rashi says, it needs kisui adam. Normally when you shecht an animal, a wild animal like a goat or a sheep, then they need kisui adam, meaning the blood comes out from the shechita, you got to cover it with dirt. A behema does not need kisui adam, like a cow. Yeah, so a koi, in some ways, it's like a chaya, that it needs kisui adam, v'yesh drachim shalva behema. And there's ways that it's similar to a behema, that its pelev, its fats are also. And then there's ways that it's not like a chaya and not like a behema, meaning because you can't mate them, not with a chaya, not with a behema, it's stuck with its own type. Right? So there too, so what are we using? We're using a lashon drachim. So nisni devarim. Why don't we say devarim? So that's one kasha. I mean, again, the same kasha we've been asking. Why is the Mishnah using a terminology of drachim, which you use devarim? That this is one of the ways that the getting rid of an eved is the same as getting rid of a what do you call it? A get nisni devarim. Why don't you say devarim there too? Right? So again, we have two cases of mishnayos that use the word drachim instead of dvarim. That's our so now the Gemara changes, right? We know that the word ella means that we're changing all the pshatim and we have a new pshat. Anytime you have a machlokes, tani drachim, not a machlokes, I'm sorry. Plukta means that we're saying differences. Then you say the word drachim. But if we're not saying differences, then tani devarim, then we say devarim. Right? Meaning when you're saying like this, there's 3 ways to be mekadosh an isha, and there's 2 ways that she gets herself back. So we're going to use the word drachim. By the koi, we're going to use the word drachim because there's a way that it's like animal, the way that it's not like an animal. By esrog is going to be the same thing, and the same thing by get, where it's sometimes where they're compared to shechuri of other manat. So anytime the Mishnah is saying differences between two, meaning differences in halacha, it's going to use the word drachim, not dvarim. Dekanami, the Mishnah said, the Gemara says, the Katani Sefer, esrog shaval ilan l'chol davar, and esrog is the same as a tree l'chol davar. Rabbi Elazar's shita is not like our previous shita, that it's for meiser, chumas and meisers, it's like a vegetable, right? So he holds it's all like an ilan, and since there's no differences there, esrog is totally like a tree, so he says l'chol davar. He doesn't say l'chol derech, right? Shema Mina, then we see that that's Taka the Pshat. So therefore, the diktuk of the Gemara is when the Gemara is splitting things, when the Mishnah is splitting things, then it says the word derech. When it's not splitting things, then it's just going to use the word davar. Yeah, fine. Okay, weiter. So that's the diktuk part of the Gemara. I think up until there is the part that the Rabbanan Savaroi say that it was added to the Gemara later on. Right, now we're back to our regular Gemara. So minyana the ratio l'mutemai, minyana the sefer l'mutemai. What's the ratio? The ratio says there's 3 ways. We could count ourselves. We don't need the Mishnah, right? It's not Sesame Street, right? Saying we don't need 3. We could count kesef, shtar, and bia. That's 3.
But they are obviously seeking.
Okay, the Gemara has the same thing. I think.
No, the Gemara asks why we need all 4. I don't think that's why it says arba.
No, I think it says not right there in the beginning, but I think it says what's the 4 coming to include or exclude. We'll find out in around 3 months.
Not the number 4. What are 4 coming to include? Not the number 4.
You remember the whole Gemara
Why
of
does it say
a
4?
I did years ago. Okay, we'll do it again soon. I think.
How many yeshivas did you learn it in, Naftali?
Probably a few also.
That's why you learned it so many times.
Maybe you learned it in 4. Maybe you learned it in 4 yeshivas. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe some yeshivas asked the kasha, some didn't.
Some didn't. Right.
Maybe. Anyways, yeah. So I think it asks it there, but okay. Truth is, I don't know. I think why would I think I should remember? Yeah. But anyways, so Gemara says here, what are we saying? 3, and why do we say 2 when she buys herself back? So minyana the ratio l'mutemai chuppah. It's coming to exclude chuppah, that you cannot marry a woman again, kiddushin, engaged, because chuppah is normally nesuin. We're going to get to that sugya tomorrow or the next day, but chuppah does not work as kiddushin, right? Which is interesting because we go under the chuppah before the kiddushin, right? Meaning when we do the kiyun of chuppah, correct, the meiri, yes, right? We do the chuppah. Our chuppahs are before the kiddushin, unless you say that the batekin is a chuppah, right? Some want to say that batekin is a chuppah. But anyways, the Gemara is saying that you cannot get engaged to a woman with chuppah, right? Ravuna damar chuppah kaina, and Ravuna, who says chuppah is kaina mekava chaimer, he learns it from mekava chaimer, which is going to be Friday's daf Bez Hashem. So l'mutemai. So then, what's the number coming to a school? L'mutei chalipin, that you cannot marry a woman with chalipin. So chalipin is basically a swap. The same thing, like we had a bunch of times. The same thing that you do with a rabbi by Mechilas Chametz, where the rabbi gives you his pen and you give him back the rights to the chametz. That's a chalipin. There's no money changing hands. There's nothing in it. There's no star in it, etc., etc. So since there's no money in it, the chalipin does not work for a kedushin, right? So it's coming to a school chalipin tzagdat. We know hayol the gamar kicha mistei Ephraim. Since we know that kesef works because of like we said yesterday's daf. Kicha from stay Ephraim, maste sadem bekanya bechalipin. So a field you could buy with chalipin. We can do a real estate deal. That's what we do in mechiras chametz, right? We could do a real estate deal by with chalipin. So since we could do a real estate deal with chalipin, and we know that you could marry a woman with kesef from a field. So maybe we're going to say that since we're comparing a marriage to buying a field, so you'd be able to do chalipin. So if Ishanami mekani with chalipin, so an isha also you'd be kind of with chalipin. Kamash malan. The Mishnah is coming to tell us chalipin doesn't work. Okay, so when it says ve'ema chanami, why doesn't it work? You just told me that chalipin doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Ve'ema chanami. So when it answers chalipin isnu b'pachas mishava pruta. The reason why chalipin doesn't work is because there's no shava pruta there, right? You could just give somebody a handkerchief and he gives it right back. It's not a shava pruta.
That's not what happened by Sedei Ephraim.
No, it didn't happen by Stay Ephraim. By Stay Ephraim, it was money.
Right.
Right. But we're saying Stay Ephraim was with money. But we also know that a field can halachically be purchased with a chalipin. right? So since
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I don't either, but that's the thing. That is the thing. Yeah, I mean, we do it by Mechiras Chametz. I'm assuming it works.
Reb Siakov, excuse me. I know you do by Deacon's Chametz and all that blah, blah, blah. Who's going to give you 1,000 acres of land because you let him hold his handkerchief for a minute? What?
The point is when you give a suitor, is you're giving the suitor, he's giving back the suitor, but he's giving you back the suitor with the sada attached to it. So
Okay.
All right, that's what the.
But it's not for the suitor. It's either for $1 million or
Yeah,
gold.
No, the suitor
It's not for the handkerchief.
It's just.
No, that's true. It's true.
The suitor itself, it doesn't have a value. It has a value, but it has something that it's able to move from one person to the other, and it's something and that's the physical thing that it attaches to. So there's sada attached to it. So the girl also, you give her the suitor, she gives you back the suitor and herself. So you're kind of.
It doesn't mean. Yeah, it doesn't mean that the guy is going to necessarily sell the field for free. It's just a form of kinyan. That's all. It could be he'll wire him the money. Wiring money is not a kinyan, right? Let's say a guy wants to do a real estate deal. He says, "Listen, I'm wiring you the money." That's very nice. Halachically, wiring money doesn't work, right? So they say, "Okay, you know what? Let's do a kinyan chalipin. That works la halacha." So there's a handshake. Right? I'm saying. Meaning, it doesn't mean that the guy's giving it for free. He's just the way to do the kinyan is with the chalip.
Wouldn't it be the same way with the credit card?
So therefore, since we learned kesef from who says a kinyan, a credit card is a kinyan, right? Yeah, 100%.
If you're paying with a wire, it's practically the same difference as paying with a credit card.
Right. So can you marry a woman? Can you imagine a guy under the chuppah says, I credit carded my wife some money. I zelled her. Right? You think the Masad Kiddushin is gonna go for that? I mean, excluding what we said yesterday that you're supposed to do a ring.
Put it on my account. Put it on my account.
So it's the act of giving over something physical then.
Correct. It has to. Well, no, it has to be a halachic purchase. We're gonna get to that, and in the next few days, we're gonna get to it if I don't know if it'll be Shabbos daf, Sunday's daf is gonna be about them not exchanging money, but him like saying, "Oh, whatever money you owe me, don't pay me back," that type of thing. Either way, so we're saying chalipin is works with pachas mishava pruta ve'isha pachas mishava pruta. A woman less than a shava pruta is not being makna her nefesh, which also sounds very interesting. And more than a shava pruta, she is being makna. For a shava pruta, she is.
We just made this up. Who told anybody this?
I guess women were easily.
Let me ask you. This guy King Charles says to a lady, "Come marry me." She says, "Okay," and she moves into Buckingham Palace. He doesn't give her nothing. Now she's worth $7 billion. So, no, but she gives her a ring from a Cracker Jack box. That's gavaldik. What?
Yeah. And a chanami.
That's coming in a couple of days. King Charles case. The Bahia, no. That's what it is. There is a monetary value to that.
So then what's this Rashi telling you? What's the Gemara telling you here?
When two paupers get married, there has to be some kind of value.
Two paupers.
By the way, Rabbi Taisus is a huge machlokes Rashi Taisus here. Rabbeinu Thomas Chelek and Rashi, he does not say it's Altzher Ganai. He learns the sugya completely differently. He does not hold it's Altzher Kapeda.
Well, I'd say
it's Taisus on Daman Aleph, not on base.
Right, yeah, the bottom first. Well, it goes on the base. Right?
He basically says the Gemara Shakav Tyre is the Indian of Kinyan Chalip and Indian of Shavik Kesef or not. And the Maskana of the Gemara is it's not Shavik Kesef. Because it's not Shavik Kesef, there's no Indian of it can't be you can't be Medama Chalip to what's it called? The Kinyan Kesef. Because it's a different type of Kinyan. Gemara in the Havamina held it had an Indian of Shavik Kesef, and in the Maskana of the Gemara is saying no, it's a different type of Kinyan. Which is much more straightforward.
Yeah, okay, that's true. It doesn't. Yeah, it makes because what's a shava pruta gonna do, right? Okay, that's exactly. Anyways, so what we're saying is that kinyan chalipa doesn't work because at least if you Rashi, it's not enough. It's not enough money. Fine. Okay, so that's why we have. So again, we have two pshatim. Why the Mishnah says a number in the Resha, either to exclude chalipin or to exclude chuppah. Fine. Minyana the sefer lebute mai. What is the number of the sefer coming to exclude? Lebute chalitza is coming to exclude chalitza. That what? That a regular couple cannot get divorced with chalitza. Why sakadai techamina? Tesi b'kava chaymer miyavama. You would learn how to kava chaymer from yavama. My yavama she'ena yotze beget. A yavama cannot go out with a get. Meaning, if the brother-in-law does not want to marry her, a get doesn't work. It needs chalitza. Right. So yavama that doesn't go out with a get, but needs chalit, but chalitza works. Zu the yotze beget. This one that is yotze beget ain't a din she yotze b'chalitza. Isn't it a kavachayim to be yotze b'chalitza? Kamat malon that teaches us that you can. The Mishnah is coming to tell us that you cannot get divorced with chalitza. So maybe taka, yeah. Well, why can't maybe a regular couple could get divorced with chalitza? So Amar Cross, safer creases like we had in the end of Gittin or throughout Gittin, you need a safer to do a divorce. Safer karsa, ain't davar acher karsa, a safer divorces and nothing else divorces. Meaning you need to have an actual get, no other form of divorce. Fine. Now we start with bekesef. Now bekesef, right? So we said that you could be kind of woman bekesef. Minalon, how do you know that you can be kind of woman with kesef? Vesu, hard meaning what we said till now with Kicha Girim Mistay Ephraim, that just shows you that Kesef is a Kinyan. But how do you know that you can be kind of a woman specifically with Kesef? Vesu, hard the time we have in a Mishnah, Zaka Bibita, Bikdusha, Kesef, Ishtar Rabia. Right? Another difficult thing to understand, right? About the father can just marry off his daughter against her will, and he gets the money, he gets the Kesef, he gets the Shtar, and he gets the Bia. Now, what does that mean that he gets the Bia? Now you understand the shtar, okay, he gets a shtar. Kesef, obviously, he gets to keep the money. What is bia? So, so Rashi, the Taisa says it means that he's getting the schar of giving her over to marry, meaning he's going to have to pay for the chus of having bia with his daughter. That's what it means, right? But either way, minalan to mekani b'kesef. How do you know that when the guy's marrying this guy's daughter, he marries her with kesef, a kesef davuahu. And how do you know that the father gets to keep the kesef? So the Gemara is really asking two questions. One is how do you know marriage works with kesef? Two is when the father marries off the daughter and he gets to keep the money, how do you know that he's allowed to keep that money? Where do we know that from? So the pasuk says, this is talking about an Amma Bria. The Amma Bria is again is a girl who the father sold. Right? So basically, up until she's a naira, which is age 12, she could be a amma. Before that, if she wants to go free, you got to pay her, right? Or marry her. Yeah. So meaning the kids can marry her. But then the pasuk says if she hits 12 and none of this happens, so then yotzach, she goes out for free. She could just walk, even though she's somebody's slave. Ain't kasav, and there's no money. So that's redundant. If she goes out for free, then of course it's ain't kasav. So ain't kasav law doesn't exist. So what are we touching? It means that the master, this master doesn't get the kasav. But there's somebody else who will get kesef for this girl when she's younger than 12. Umaniu, and who is that? Av. That's referring to her father. So you see that the father is allowed to take money, gets money for marrying off his daughter. And if a father gets money for marrying off the daughter, then that means there's such a thing as a kinyan kesef for marriage. So Gemara says, who says maybe the money goes to her? Maybe who says the money goes to the father? Gemara answers, Hachi hashta. How could that be? Avia makabel kiddushin. The father's the one who decides who she's going to marry. That I gave my daughter to this man, and she takes money, meaning he decides who she marries, and she gets to keep the money, right? Meaning he's marrying her. I mean, the way it works nowadays is that the father. I mean, I'm sure I don't know if the fathers nowadays decide who the daughter is marrying, but meaning he's saying that the father can marry her off to whoever he wants to, and she gets to keep the money. It doesn't make sense. The Gemara asks, maybe this is only via katana. The less lo yad l'kava kiddushin. She doesn't have a yad to be makava kiddushin. Not mature enough to be makava kiddushin. So therefore, the father gets to keep her money. Right? She's considered an adult. Takdish ihi nafsha. Maybe she should be able to marry herself off. Tishko kaspa, and she should take the money. The one answers Amar Krab in Ura Beisavia. When she's in Ura, she's in her father's house. Kol Shrach Neurim Lavia. Whatever profits she makes goes to her father. Fine. So then the Gemara has a long question. How do we know that whatever work a daughter does, the money goes to her father? Right, a father can sell his daughter as a servant. Just like an amma, a slave, a servant, whatever. Her profits go to her boss. Abbas Nami, her go to her father. So why can't you just know it from Nura Beisavia? Meaning, why do we need the pasuk? Why not just learn it up from Minura Beisavia? Ella, but for us the Dharma would have said. So we're going to say that that's talking about being mated and neder, right? So Hachanami, we're going to say by us, Ba'afaras Nedarim, meaning by Kiddushin, we're going to say Ba'afaras Nedarim would have said. It's talking about Hafaras Nedarim. When does the father have power over the daughter in order to be mated and nedarim? But that's it. And if you're going to say that learn out Kiddushin from this, we can't learn out. We don't learn out money from Isser, right? You can't learn a din of money, right? Money, it means chesed mishpat, finances. You can't learn out a psak of that from Isser. That's the rule. There are two different sets of rules. We can't learn out one from the other. Okay, so let's learn out from Knas, right? Because if she's raped, if the daughter's raped, who gets the Knas money? The father gets the Knas money. Okay, so if the father gets to keep her Knas money, the father should get to keep her marriage money too. So when it says, you can't do that because we don't learn out regular mammon mishpat from Knas. Okay, so then when it says, well, there's other things that, because there's bushan, baishas and begam, learn it out from embarrassment and what she's worth less, which goes to the father. Right? Because, meaning baishas and begam, if she's embarrassed because she was raped and people want to give less money for her, who's that loss coming to? To the father, right? That he gets to keep. That's not a knas. That's how much less his daughter is worth. So shani baishas begam, the hu shaykh begavayu. So we say baishas begam, the father has shaykhs to it, right? But the father, because it's his daughter, it's his property. Let's call it that, right? But by Kiddushin, who says that he has the right to keep the money for the daughter? So the Gemara says, Ella, okay, it's a little bit complicated, that kasha. Ella mistavra, the chikamayit. So what are we going to say? That when the pasuk is talking about that there's going to be Kiddushin, right? We're learning it out from Amevriya, Yitzia on Tamid Aleph now. Yitzia the Kavasa Kamamayit, it's going to be talking about a similar Yitzia, similar going out. Meaning, when an Amevriya goes out, so we said the Yatzachinam and Kaza, she goes out free, there's no money, right? So too, when a Naira goes out, then the money is going to go to her father. Meaning, when we're saying an Amevriya goes out free, there's no money. Who's the no money to? To her boss. So the same thing, by marriage, when there is money, who's the money going to? Her boss, who's her father. The Gemara says it's not true. The going out of a servant is not the same as the going out of a divorce. Hasam nafkala mirishus adain legamri. By the servant, she's going out totally free. And she's going out from the shus of her owner, totally complete. Akati mixer masira lechuppah. She still needs to go to chuppah, right? Meaning here she's going out from her father's house, right? But she's still missing chuppah, meaning she's missing nisuin, the second stage. So how are you going to compare an Amma of Riyah who's going out totally free to this girl who's not totally free yet? She's still under her father's jurisdiction, I guess, until she has nisuin.
See how it
From what
goes.
it says, no, but first, what? Yeah.
No, if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are these halachas the same now as they were in the time of the Gemara, and we just don't do it because we live in countries where you can't, or it's not different? Can I marry off my 10-year-old daughter?
Didn't we have in Ksubas that we don't do it anymore? Was that a Gemara? Did we have it, Gershon? You remember that?
I thought we had it. Yeah.
We're going to see it in the beginning of the second parak in Kiddushin and Tosafos. He says is very interesting where he says today we marry our daughters off while they're still katanas because of the gullus we're in. I think it's in the second Amid in the second parak.
Yeah, I thought we had it somewhere. Okay, if that's what you're saying. Yeah. Anyway, so the Gemara answers, but far as the Daram be a Natskalom, but for being Mater Neder, she did go out of her Rishus. Why? The Tana, Naira, Borasa, Avi.
No, didn't we have that case where the guy said he was Makadish's daughter and he didn't tell anybody?
Yeah, I know we had that case, Peretz. I know about that case.
Yeah, if he
but
does it, it
that's
works.
not the same. This guy was holding it over his wife. He won't tell. Let's say a regular case. You make a shidduch with your 10-year-old daughter, and you have Elachayim, and you have.
I understand. What's the difference? If you hold, you can't do it. So then, how did this guy do it?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Well,
No,
Rabban, I think in the U.S. there's some states that allow child marriages actually.
So I'm asking
Yeah.
about what in our religion, or is it we don't do it because of the countries we live in? That's exactly my question, Akiva. Exactly.
I know. I think it could vary by the state. I'm just saying if you live in certain states, it's completely
No,
allowed.
but
Yeah,
I
in
thought we
certain
had a
states you can
Gemara
marry
that
14. I know somebody who did his. Well, yeah, he married his wife. She was 14. From the Malachim, they drove drove to Mississippi, wherever it was, 50 years ago, and they couldn't get married.
Mississippi's one of the states. Yeah.
They couldn't get married in Brooklyn, so they drove to Mississippi and they got married. Yeah, no, I know that.
That's romance. That's romance right there.
Yeah.
But I thought we had somewhere that we don't do it. It certainly works la halacha.
Oh, that's my question. That's all.
It works la halacha. I don't remember, somewhere along the lines it became that we don't do it. I don't think it had to do with the legal. I don't know why I thought that maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But
Anyway, so Gemara says, "Bafaras the Darim be a nafkala." Yeah.
No, continue.
What are you saying?
Continue.
Let me just finish it. Bafaras the Darim. Let me just finish the terror. Bafaras the Darim be a nafkala merishuse. By Hafaras the Darim, she does go out of it. Just meaning when the father, engages, meaning lets his daughter get engaged, he's out of her rishus. The Tanan Naira Hamurasna Avio Bailam Afino that once he's a Naira, she's 12, and the father lets her get engaged to somebody. So it's not, he no longer can be mater in the Darim. It's her, it's him, he has to be mater along with the chassan. Let's call it the chassan, right? So Memela, it's considered as if it's no longer in his rishus, which I don't get exactly because it's still in his rishus because the chassan can't do it without him, right? We're saying here, she's out of her rishus. He is in a way that because he can't be mater in the Darim by himself, but he still needs the other guy. He still needs the chassan to do it. So she's still under his jurisdiction a little bit.
Right, but I don't think
Okay.
I don't think the Gemara is trying to say that the Gemara knows that she's still in his jurisdiction because you still need chuppah. The Gemara is just saying there's epis a yitzia, therefore it could be the kavasa. Meaning as long as there's some type of yitzia, it's enough to say it's a darshan because the Gemara knows for most inyanim she's talking out about it. Yeah.
Right. No, that's true. That's true. But okay, but anyway, so that's basically maskonas advarim right now, is that we know that a woman, the money, the kesef, we know it from Amar Ivriya. That the Amar Ivriya, it says that she goes out for free. Mashma, that there's another time when she goes out that's not for free, and that's marriage, where she has to go out with money, and it goes to the father if the father marries her own. Okay, we'll stop over here, and